Coach, overall thoughts heading into this week? It's a big week.
Yeah, it's the best time of the year. It's Christmas for any basketball fans or players or coaches. It's what we all work towards, obviously, and told our guys we put ourselves in a good position. Now we got to go take advantage of the advantage that we've created. So I think when you go into tournament play, I think it's a new season in a lot of ways, but at the same time, it's not. We just got to be who we are every single day. You don't have to be anybody different. Enjoy the moment, have fun, play for one another, and create memories that hopefully we'll have for the rest of our lives. Hopefully we're playing a lot longer.
The consistency of your starting five allows your bench players to know their roles in a sense. How significant is your lineup being so consistent this season?
Yeah, we've had a few, like obviously Dan started on senior night, and I think Ian was out for a game against Eastern Michigan actually here at home, and Brant started that game. But for the most part, we've had a pretty consistent starting lineup, and our group's the same every day. And I've told those guys coming off the bench, that they're more than capable of starting, but I want them to get comfortable with, what their role is on the team when they go in the game. The whole deal. And I think that creates consistency as far as their performance goes, right? And because I do feel like we have 9 guys who could start, like legitimately. I think you can make an argument. And I've told Evan has played really good basketball. I think he's first in the MAC in assist to turnover ratio. He took over the kid Shema Scott at Akron that last game. But he could easily be starting. Brant could easily be starting. Reese has been playing great basketball the last month. He could easily be starting. Luke Skowjak's had incredible moments. So it's, and any of those guys could start, and they know they're going to play their minutes. And again, I think the connectivity and the sacrifice when you got a guy like Dan Lewis, who's one of your captains, who normally hasn't played a lot. He's played in some spot minutes, and he's always been ready. Dan has. He's always ready. But the sacrifice that he makes, I think that permeates throughout the rest of the team.
You made a lot of history this season for this program as you look at different stats and records. You've talked about building toward year 3. Was there any specific moment or point in the year where you felt like the guys on your team could really see and believe what was happening and kind of a turning point?
Yeah. I would say maybe down at the Fort Myers tournament. Obviously been able to win it on a neutral court. I think was a pretty cool experience for our guys, right? Getting used to winning and winning championships. They got a pretty cool trophy too. The guys did, so they loved that. And again, just it's been a while, here since we've really been good. And I think that really showed our guys, hey, listen, we can do this. There's no doubt about it. I think they knew we were talented beforehand, but until you kind of do something like that makes it a little bit more real.
Men's and women's teams this year combined for 42 wins. It's the most ever. How gratifying has it been to kind of see the momentum build and to kind of be doing that side by side?
Yeah, Coach Box is awesome. We kind of share like a suite. I don't know if you call it a suite, but we're on kind of one side, and there's a long hallway, and the women's staff's on the other side of the office suite or whatever you want to call it. He's been awesome. I think he's done a terrific job. Obviously, getting the women's basketball program back on the right track. He's young. They got a young team. And I think the Miami fans out there, they obviously see the product on the floor that he's been able to put out there, but just the day-to-day, who they have in their program, from staff, from a player standpoint, they're a lot of fun to be around because we have a lot of crossover, right? Whether they're leaving the gym, we're entering the gym, and they got great girls. They really do, and they got a great staff. So he's building it the right way, and I'm excited to kind of continue to watch to see what Coach Box can do, and hopefully they can make a huge run here in this MAC tournament. I think they definitely can. So, but it's an exciting time to be here at Miami. I think just even as a student, you look at the success that football's had, right? Chuck Martin. And you look at the success of all, whether it's softball, whether it's field. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. I don't want to leave out any sports, but like, women's basketball's gotten a lot better. Men's basketball's gotten a lot better. We want something. We want to put a product out there that our students and our alumni base can be really, really proud of, and we got to continue to, catch on to that momentum. I think that's really important. You got to know when those moments are in life, and but just to see the energy around our men's and women's basketball programs change from when I got here year one to now, I mean, it's been mind blowing, to be quite frank. But Glenn Box has done a great job. He's done a great job. David Saylor's done a great job, obviously, getting him here, and then obviously continuing. Like I said, it takes way more than just talent. It takes everybody pulling in the same direction, from President Crawford to David Saylor to marketing. Everything's all involved, and I think we're all heading in the right direction.
You've got 8 guys and almost a ninth with Luke that average 6 or more points a game. I understand that your 3 that average in double digits take a lot of that spotlight offensively, but how important has it been, especially when Kraft or Suter maybe doesn't quite get up to that season average, that some of your guys even deeper into your bench can at least give you a few buckets and kind of make up the difference there?
Yeah, I think we're the deepest team in the league. And it's strength in numbers for us, and our guys know that. We kind of roll with the guys that are hot. It's different guys, different nights. Luke Skowjak can go for 20. Brant Byers can go for 20. Reese Potter can go for 20. Evan Apsaro can go for. So it's just like you got all these guys. I think that just makes us really hard to prepare for. It allows us to play the way that we want to play. On the offensive end, we want to play really fast, and then we want to we really emphasize sharing the basketball, right? And the go-to guy for us is always going to be the open guy, and obviously, listen, Peter and Cam and Ian. Those guys are proven scorers, and they have been double-digit guys, and like you said, but. Man, I think if you start to focus too much on those guys, we have 9 guys who can go get double figures, if given the opportunity.
Last couple of years, you've made the MAC tournament, and I understand that you emphasize that was never just the goal, just to get in for you guys, right? But What have you learned from at least getting there? And you've played teams now each of your first 2 seasons that you kind of are right now in a high-seeded team that's had a successful regular season. What can you kind of take away, and what can your guys that have been here for the last couple seasons take away from those experiences in Cleveland?
Yeah, I think, I'll never forget year one, man. We had the worst practice of the year today. And I was like, man, our guys are checked out. I felt like it was a long season, a long marathon. We squeaked in there, and I felt like our guys were a little satisfied, right? And to be there, and now we're not. I think we're just in a different place, right? Our programs continue to grow, and I thought we had a great practice yesterday. But I think you learn from, how you structure out your week is really important. At the mid-major level, it's a 1-bid league, right? So you get 3 games in 3 days. That's what this thing comes down to, right? So how you structure your week from a practice standpoint, what days are you taking off, how many days are you taking off? Do you have the juice to play 3 games in 3 days, right? And then you look at it from perspective how you recruit. It's like, well, I think you got to play 8 or 9 guys, bare minimum 8. I'd say 9 probably, to put yourself in the best position to play 3 games in 3 days, right? The things you emphasize as a program, right? You look at who's won and had a lot of success up there in Cleveland over the years. Odds are we're probably going to have an off shooting night. I don't want to. I hope we make every shot that we shoot, but odds are we're not. So we got to be able to rebound. You got to be able to take care of the ball. You got to be able to defend, right? And the last thing that I would say is obviously 3 games. The recovery piece going from day 1 to day 2 to day 3 is really important. Like Chris Elmore, who does a great job. James Carsey, who does a great job for us. Carsey's our strength coach, and Chris Elmore's our trainer. Those guys are going to be on 24 hours. That between game 1 and game 2, game 2 and hopefully game 3, right? So we have things very, very structured out and planned out. Now I would also say, and I've told our guys this, it's because I got asked a great question the other night on the on our Zoom call for with a bunch of donors, and they asked, well, how are you you guys were kind of playing with house money, so to speak, the first 2 years, right? And you guys got in, and now you guys are a 2 seed. Is there anything you're doing specifically so that guys don't feel that pressure, right? Because, again, it's natural. There is a lot of pressure, right? I mean, I think we just got to lean right into it. We got to have fun with it. Never forget why we're playing basketball, why we're doing what we're doing. And then you got to continue to play for one another, you know. And you look at all the data points from like the Navy SEALs and all the research as far as the accuracy of when you're in battle, if you're just trying to protect yourself or if you're also trying to protect one of your soldier, you know, the soldier, right? You're a lot more accurate when you protect somebody else. So like playing for others, and I think that connectivity that we have as a team will serve us really well in these big moments here in the MAC tournament.
You got a young roster, and you got a lot of guys who haven't played in the MAC until this season.
Yep.
What is it like getting them ready to play in an environment like Cleveland?
Yeah, I think they don't know what they don't know. They're excited. They're like a puppy, right? And when you get them home, and sometimes they'll have an accident right there on the carpet, right? They're not going to be perfect, but you know, they get better, right? So like they'll figure it out. But I know their excitement level is extremely high, which I think that is maybe the most important thing at this time of the year, right? Because like I said, year one, I felt like, man, we were kind of running on fumes, kind of going in, and we had to play like a few guys way too many minutes to get to that point. But I think our guys are excited, man. They know, listen, hopefully we're going to be playing a lot longer, and it starts with that first game. That first game, Eastern Michigan's our absolute Super Bowl. I mean, that is the Super Bowl, and we got to go all in on it. But I do know they're very, very, very excited to play.
Brant Byers, in particular, has been impressive. He had a couple stand-up performances early on, but since January, he's really taken it up a couple notches. What can you say about his progression as the season's gone on?
Yeah, Brant's gotten a lot better. I looked from where he was. He came in last year at semester and redshirted, right? So just the growth his body's made, his strength. He's never going to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Listen, like he's leaner, he's kind of longer, but he's gotten a lot stronger. You look at how his games progress, his confidence level. You know, he impacts a game in a lot of ways. A lot of people talk about his shooting, and as they should. He's one of the best shooters, in my opinion, in the country. But he cuts, he rebounds, he's tough. He does a lot of different things out there on that floor. And you just see his game really blossoming. You know, you do. From where he was, like I said, a year ago to right now, oh, man, it's night and day. And I think he's just scratching the surface of how good he can be.